to gather, to share space, to commune, to support, to experience together. We have always taken this ability to gather as a matter of course. We knew that we could go to church, to restaurants, to family parties, to vacation spots, to the theater, to sporting events, to be a part of the group, a crowd, a congregation, an audience, a moment in space that connects us and unites us in our common interest, goals, and experiences. What this pandemic has taught us is that which we took as normal and an expected part of our existence can disappear in the blink of an eye. And we have learned how much we need it in the very marrow of our bones. The hand to hold, the healing hug, the cheering, the singing, the laughter, and the tears. We miss it more than we could even imagine. The human heart yearns for gathering. We are a country and a universe of grievers right now as we mourn all the losses that have accumulated over these past months. In the early days of March, as the reality of quarantine settled upon our country, Laura Kelly Fanucci penned these thoughts. She wrote, "When this is over, may we never again take for granted a handshake with a stranger, full shelves at the grocery store, conversations with neighbors, a crowded theater, Friday night out, the taste of communion, a routine checkup, the school rush each morning, coffee with a friend, the stadium roaring, each deep breath, a boring Tuesday, life itself. When this ends, may we find that we have become more like the people we wanted to be, who we were called to be, who we hope to be, and may we stay that way, better for each other, because of the worst." This being apart has been brought to light in very visceral ways when we needed to honor those who have left us. A death must be honored by presence, by acknowledgement, by carving out time to remember and to honor together in the moments of grief. But we know that even if our times are creating the gulf of distance, we could still share the opportunity to gather from afar, to not miss this time to say goodbye once again, and to stand in awe at all of these lives who made an impact on this world during their journey. So today, we stop for a sacred space of remembering, to say the names, to embrace the images, to express our sadness at their passing, to express our gratitude for their living. We carry a light, because it is our duty to continue their stories and legacies. We say to the families, our thoughts are with you as you find new ways to live in a world without this most special person. We say to those of you who lost a friend or colleague, your responsibility is to carry on their spirit and gifts in this world. If you are able, we invite you to light a candle during this time. No matter where you are, the power and aura of the energy can travel through the airwaves, through the miles, through the gaps of gathering, so we can once again share this experience. We honor people who were daughters, sons, sisters, brothers, wives, husbands, grandmothers, grandfathers, leaders in our profession, members of communities, schools, churches, and organizations. Each of them left footprints that cannot be replicated and memories that cannot be forgotten. So as we sink into the images of these beloveds, take a time to send a thought, write a note, send an email, capture a memory, and share it with the families of those who are mourning their losses in the quiet of aloneness. Leo Christopher once said, "There's only one thing more precious than our time, and that's who we spend it on." We honor the family members of our friends. Barbara Barnett, 97, beloved mother and grandmother of CANA Executive Director Barbara Kemmis. She was a founding and active member of Westover Baptist Church and active in the Des Moines Garden Club, where she was a master judge. Marie Angie Bork, 97, was the loving mother of 3 children, including her son, Dennis DesRochers. grandmother to 4, great-grandmother to 2, and loved by so many. Violet Harmon, 90, mother of Archer Harmon. Violet grew up with 8 sisters and was mother to 3 children and grandmother to 4. Martha Harris, 82, mother of Paul Harris. Martha graduated from UNC School of Nursing, class of 1960, and was a proud UNC Tar Heel. Martha is survived by her daughter, 2 sons, 3 grandchildren, and 2 sisters. Robert Johnson, 77, father of Kim Price. Bob enjoyed many activities during his full life, especially hunting with his father, brothers, and friends, collecting various antiques and riding his motorcycles and SSR truck. He had a love of family history and enjoyed sharing that history with his family. Margaret Rivera, 94, mother of J.P. DeTroya, mother-in-law to Tina DeTroya, 2 other sons and daughters-in-law, 8 grandchildren, 15 great-grandchildren, and her brother. Her legacy request was that donations be made to St. Jude Children's Hospital, carrying on her memory of care for others. John PALMERI, 95, father of Tina DeTroya, father-in-law to J.P., and 2 other daughters and sons-in-law, grandfather of 7, great-grandfather to 7, as well as 1 sister, all who will miss that smile. Joellen Varner, 69. Joellen's excitement for world travel and fine dining took her to Russia, China, Sweden, Denmark, and throughout the Mediterranean. Still, she was just as happy to be at home with her family and her beautiful gardens. She will be remembered as a woman of remarkable good cheer, no matter the circumstances. Joellen Varner will be deeply missed by her loving husband, Ken, her beloved sons, Kenny and Peter, her dear brother, Skip, her in-laws, and many other relatives and friends who adored her. Each of these special people lived lives of purpose and intentionality and provided support and encouragement for their loved ones as they found their calling in their profession. Steve Jobs once said, "Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do." The funeral profession and all the elements that fill that niche of serving families is a lifelong commitment to being there. Holidays, dinners, family gatherings, vacations could all be put on hold, postponed, or delayed because this calling demands our attention and dedication. Professionals who sit with families and walk with them on their first steps of the grief journey. Experts who care for the cemeteries that keep those memories visible. Creators and entrepreneurs who design the tools required to do our work. Talented consultants who guide families as they make decisions for their final gathering. Each of these individuals gave their hearts and souls to this unique path of service. They leave behind broken-hearted loved ones and grateful families who were touched by their contribution to their world. Some lived long and eventful lives. Some were taken way too soon. Some provided leadership and guidance on a national level. Some were the cornerstones of their communities. All were valuable and valued by so many. David Beck, 81, president of Clark Grave Vault Company. During his career, Dave served the funeral industry however he could, speaking at hundreds of conventions and colleges, serving 30 years on the board of the International Memorialization Supply Association, board member and president of the Casket and Funeral Supply Association of America, as well as serving on countless committees on both the state and national levels. CFSA recognized Dave for his dedication to the funeral industry by presenting him with the 2009 Lifetime Recognition Award, and in 1994, he won the Entrepreneur of the Year in the state of Ohio for manufacturing. Charles Boudreau, 77, acquired the funeral home and ambulance service, renamed it to C.H. Boudreau Funeral Home Limited in 1997. Alongside his wife Norma, he received the prestigious Jack Hardery Memorial Lifetime Achievement in Business Award in 2018 from the Strait Area Chamber of Commerce. The award honored C.H. Boudreau Funeral Home for being the best in business for over 4 decades. James D'Angelel, 55, Executive Director of D'Angelel Memorial Homes. He partnered with his father and brother in their family-owned firms in the Philadelphia area. Jack Eichhoff, 96, partner in Otto Eichhoff & Sons Construction Company for most of his career. He lost a daughter named Gretchen in a private airplane accident while she was attending Stanford University. This tragedy provided an impetus for Jack to design a columbarium in her honor. He believed his daughter's cremated remains should be protected and stored in a safe and dignified memorial. At that time, in the early 80s, there were few columbaria and none in his hometown of Crookston, Minnesota. So he began the journey to creating beautiful and meaningful places to honor loved ones all over the world. Todd Ebensteiner, 52, superintendent at Mountain View Funeral Home, an avid outdoorsman. He shared his love of nature and the tranquility of the cemetery as he cared for the families of Mesa, Arizona. Richard Fleur, Jr., 59, was the great-grandson of John Fleur, the original Fleur undertaker, who established a funeral parlor in 1898 in the Kensington section of Philadelphia. He worked steadily in the business from the time he was 15, serving grieving families in Philadelphia and Bucks County for 44 years. The guiding principles of his business were sincerity, integrity, and compassion. They were the values that were passed down by his father and grandfather. Mark Justin, 66, owner of Justin Funeral Home. Taking the mantle as the 4th generation to run the funeral home, service to the community was a central pillar of Mark's life, and that extended beyond the funeral home. In the McHenry community, Mark was a member of the fire service for 49 consecutive years. In the 80s, Mark joined in the disaster mortuary affairs with his state association, the Illinois Funeral Directors Association. He served in that capacity before its merger with the federal DMORT team. Henry Kaiser, 58, chairman of the facultative group. In 1996, Henry Kaiser was approached by the supervisory board and invited to manage and develop this organization, which was derived from the Royal Dutch Cremation Society established in 1874. 2 years later, he became president and CEO, which, under his leadership, grew into a leading and well-respected international organization with branches all over the world. Kevin McCarthy, 73. Whether serving the community as a board member and president of the Board of Waterworks, helping grieving families say goodbye to departed loved ones as executive director of Rose Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery, or seeking to improve Pueblo, Colorado through his extensive community service, Kevin McCarthy always sought to better his hometown. Robert Norton, 67. Bob and his wife Meredith moved to Parker, Colorado when they noticed there was no funeral home in town, and together they opened Parker Funeral Home in 1992. With the help of their sons, son-in-law, and daughters, they have become one of the longest family-owned businesses in Parker, serving families in Douglas, Elbert, Arapahoe, and surrounding counties. Parker Crematory is still the only crematory in the county. The couple also owns a design company that designs and makes cremation jewelry and biodegradable urns and caskets. Stacy O'Vera, 61, president of Fur Lane Memorial Park. Stacy's parents owned Fur Lane Memorial Park, so he went to work there as a grounds manager for many years. Then he left for a few years and worked at Intel as a facilities manager. Eventually, he returned to Fairlane, where he was president until he died. Yet he still loved working with metal and had his business, custom metal tuning, milling, welding, and repair. Joan Pearson, 86. After many years of Joan's husband Chelsea working in funeral service, they, along with their children, started the family business, Pearson's Funeral Service, which continued their legacy of serving others. Joan loved music, sewing, and quilting. She developed these talents throughout her life and shared them regularly. Alexander Scott, 48. From a young age, Alex's calling was to be a funeral director. He fulfilled his dream by providing comfort to thousands of people during his 25 years of service in the funeral profession, most recently as Senior Licensed Funeral Director and Director of Public Relations with the Dukes of Family Funeral Homes. He was a certified funeral service practitioner, a certified pre-planning consultant, and a certified cremation service provider. Alex was the current president of the Connecticut Funeral Directors Association, elected in 2019. Scott Sells, 57. Market Director for SCI. He served SCI in Hawaii and in California. Scott served ICCFA on the Board of Directors and Chair of Committees for multiple terms and was elected President in 2017. During his ICCFA presidency, Scott established the ICCFA Veterans Committee to bring recognition to servicemen and women in the profession, as well as support efforts to welcome more veterans to a career in death care. His smile and boisterous laughter will be missed. Mike Stevens, 65. In 1984, Stevens joined the Forethought Group, a new startup company where he spent the next 7 years in various sales management roles. In the early 1990s, Stevens had the opportunity to join a startup funeral home acquisition company where he served as head of pre-need sales. He then returned to Forethought in business development and trust sales roles until 2007, when he joined NGL and became a regional vice president and key member of the sales team. Erwin Schipper, 88, was an active member of the ICCFA for 69 years. He served as president of the association from 1996 to 1998 and was inducted into the ICCFA Hall of Fame in 2004. Erwin chaired the Government and Legal Affairs Committee for 25 years, and in 2017 was named Chairman Emeritus of the committee. Darla Tripoli, 55. Darla was a graduate of the Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science class, where she had been instructor for the past 10 years. She was a hairdresser and licensed cosmetologist. Darla was a dedicated licensed funeral director, a certified celebrant, and life tribute professional. She conducted many beautiful and meaningful services for the bereaved families at Solandra Funeral and Cremation Services, where she had been a trusted manager and pre-plan specialist for the past 5 years. We close our time together with the deep hope that you will take the memories of these moments with you as you go into your day. And when the day finally comes when we can be together again, seek out these friends and association colleagues at the next meeting. Give them a long-awaited hug and tell them that they have been in your thought and in your heart. So let us close with a blessing. To everything there is a season, a time of love, a time of sharing, and a time of memories. In each season, let yesterday's memories lead you. In every time of need, count your blessings as well as your tears. Fill your heart with the best of the past, and hope will come to you. Keep your eyes on the good times and feel the love surrounding you. There will always be times of trial, but for every sorrow there is hope. As you work your way through your valley of sadness, may strong and lasting memories be your comfort. As you journey down this road of many branching paths, let's walk together. Go in peace and take care of each other. Amen.